200% weight on that track will actually multiply the value of that that float by 200%. And inversely, if it's negative 200, it'll be negative values. So what we can do now is we're going to take the weight of this controller, which is down here, and we're going to wire it up to the X position side to side. So let's do animation Y weights. There's the float wire, and let's take this into the X animation track. And now what we want to say is when this is positive, we're going to ramp that down into the negative. So I'm going to just take the X position and copy it just so I can use it that way and say if X position is greater than or equal to 0, then else. So if it's greater than, we're going to be ramping down, else it's going to be 1. And the weight of the tracks is actually a value of 1. It reads as 100 here, but your input value is 1. So now what you need to do is you need to go in, and we're going to take this, we're going to say 1 minus the X position, and see what that does for us. So as we go up and sideways, you can see as I go out and start pushing it out, it actually starts ramping down the weight of the controller to the point where it actually ramps it into a negative value the further over I get. If I bring it into the negative value, you can see that it's now sticking with it 1 to 1. Once I get onto the negative side of the X, it's 1 to 1, and then as I push it past into the positive side, it starts ramping down the value of the controller to the point where it is at this point here actually set up as it's weighted that controller to 0. As I push past that point, it starts taking it into a negative value and actually pushing it the opposite direction. So now you can have this nice fluid motion set up. Let's just copy that if statement. And what I'll do now is I'm just going to close a couple of these. And what I'll do is I'll do the same thing to this one. And we're going to say the Y's weight of the float is going to be connected up to the X position again. And this time what I need to do is I need to invert it so it's the other way around and connect it. And what you'll find is it's actually the wrong way around. See, as I'm actually going to the negative right now, it's actually pushing it up even higher. It's not what I want. It should be going the other way. So what you need to do is you need to multiply the X value by -1, and I'll just wrap that in a set of brackets as well. So we just need to change that one around. So now when I pull it this way, it actually pulls the outer side of the brow down. Pull it this way, it pulls the inner side of the brow down. Now you've got this nice fluid motion going on your control. So pull it over. I can pull down the inner, get them to frown. Get them to frown even more by pushing the outer up, make them look really evil, not just a frown sort of brow. Pull it straight across, the whole brow drops, and then as you pull it further over the side, it starts pushing up the inner more and more and more. So very, very fluid motion to it once you start playing with it. Now for the X value, if we wanted to set that up like I have on this side, what I'll do is I'll just go in and say properties and just copy that expression, and let's do the same thing over here. So on this side I'm going to take the X value, and I don't need a list controller on it this time like I did with the Y. Hook it directly up to it and check and see if this is indeed what we want. So when I go into no, this is completely inverted, so when it's greater than, I want it to move very little, and when it's less than X, less than 0 in X, I want it to move to the 0.3. So we've got if X position is greater than or equal to 0, then do this, else do that. So it's pretty straightforward to write that if statement. And now, of course, on the other side, so we can take the other side, do exactly the same thing. We can take the X value and